Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Shay, your local numerologist. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, share. Make sure you leave your comments below. I do read all of the comments, guys. And remember, for all of these readings, happiness is always the goal. So let's get into it. So I do not know what the soul urge number is, but we got one. Okay. Soul urge number one: leader, adventure, independence, expert, um, ruler of own life. So you guys have this desire just to be you and not to be stopped by anybody and all of that. One can come off as a little bit problematic just because you guys can have like a know-it-all type of attitude. So I would just say right off the bat, be careful with that. But let me tell you the message that I got. So I have the message of not being trustworthy. So that's either you have somebody around you that's not trustworthy or you are not trustworthy yourself. Unable to release inhibitions. Okay. And this can be kind of like this need to, it says right here that you guys need adventure, right? But I feel like sometimes when you become an expert on something, you can kind of reject this idea of being a novice. And then I have benefits of change, right? So I also wrote that your prayers have already been answered. So there's something that you guys are not seeing about your prayers being answered. So I do got three piles here. So we have trusting this untrustworthy energy. So I put energy specifically, which makes me think that it may not be a specific person, but it may be like some actions that you have like taken in life, and instead of it's, you know how people be like, oh yeah, well, you know, if you want to be successful in life, you got to do this, right? But they themselves have tried those things and they haven't gotten success. That's the energy that I feel. um Being vulnerable is debilitating. So you guys, um man, it's kind of like it's an inaction because there's so much that needs to be done, right? So what I'm getting is that you are feeling so much that you have a problem or issue moving in a certain direction because you don't know whether it's the right direction to go. And then over here, major benefits of keeping your energy close. So I got this I kind of got this vibe that you have to figure out who to be vulnerable with, right? You have to remove your energy from this not trustworthy energy, okay? Untrustworthy energy, whatever you want to call it, y'all, okay? I haven't eaten today, so I think this is going to be my last read, and I'm going to go get some food. Because your girl is hungry, baby. All right. Let me make sure you guys are good. All right, let's get into it. So I am starting here with some runes for my soul urge heart desire one. And let's see what we got going over here. We got La Goose in reverse. And then we also have A-Wise. I-Wise. I forget how to say it. I-Wise, and then we have La Goose in reverse. So I-Wise is kind of like the death card. Death is about endings. It's also about transitions, right? And then Lagos literally means lake, and it's revert in reverse. So it's kind of like, to me, it automatically means some kind of flow is stopped. But I do get some kind of fear here of kind of moving into this transitional period. Okay, so you guys are. Okay, I'm getting that you have received many messages. You guys have like upgraded your knowledge like a lot, and it's kind of like you're scared to move forward in it because you'll be new in it. You won't be an expert. You spent all your life learning this thing. And so that's where we get the untrustworthy energy. So you guys are kind of like, I'm getting that there is a little bit of fear of moving on to the next transition, moving on to the next life cycle, right? And it's a debilitating fear. So it's like Really, really holding you guys back. So we got 8 of Coins and the Devil. Yep, you guys are super attached to whatever work that you've already done, whatever skill that you've already learned. You are super attached to it. Um, it's almost this idea of you would rather stay in this position of the position where you are, of being unhappy, of working towards something, and as opposed to really opening up and being vulnerable. So I'm getting this idea that you guys kind of like want to be, you're not living in your creative energy. You have put that to the back, put it to the side. If you guys are creating, you're not doing what you want. You're doing what other people want you to do for money, and it is harming you. That is exactly what I am getting here. So definitely would be careful with that, hon. Definitely would be careful with that. Whatever job this is, whatever work you're doing, it is blocking your feminine energy, it's blocking your vulnerability. All of that runs on the same wavelength, which means that when you're not able to be creative in the way that you want, it's really hard for you to love in the way that you want. It's really hard for you to connect to spirit in the way that you want. And again, I'm getting that your prayers have already been answered, but there's a lot that you're not seeing because you're trying to hold on to something that is so painful to you. Let's pick this number next. 2 of Pentacles. I feel like you guys are a little bit obsessed with control, right? It's like once you are too comfortable in a position, it doesn't do anything for your life, right? And I'm also going to say this because I was saying it earlier when I was in the middle of a message, is that um, the journey has to be worth the goal. And the best example that I found of that is, you know how they say whatever you did to get them, you have to continue doing that. And that's not only in relationships, that's with anything. If you were, let's say, oh, you wanted to buy this house, right? And you're like, man, okay, I need to get this house. So I'm going to put in 60 hours a week, and I'm not going to have any time out, and I'm going to buy this house. Well, when you get that house is going to expect you to still keep putting in the same amount of work. Okay? So if you need to put in 60 hours a week of something to get somewhere, it better be 60 hours a week of some shit that you enjoy doing. That does not seem like work to you. That is fun for you. Otherwise, you are setting yourself up for bullshit. And I get that you guys are seeing this firsthand. It's not working out, not because you don't have the things that you set out to get. It's because, like, inside you feel trapped by it. You feel trapped. I get that you are juggling all of these things, you are trying to keep all of these balls in the air, and you absolutely can do it, but you don't want to. See what we got going on here. All right, so we got the compass. We have masculine energy here with this Ace of Cups, right? And that's Mars, right? I be trying to learn all the symbols of the planets, but I'm not always so good at them. But it is Mars. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus, supposedly. Anyway, let's talk about Mars, right? Mars is the planet of war, planet of conflict, very, very fiery. Very fiery. Ruler of Aries, ancient ruler of Scorpio. Right? Which Scorpio technically is the death card, is the transition card. Now ruled by Pluto. Anyway, moving on from all of that. I'm getting the energy from saying that Mars to Pluto, that you guys are moving from this, or you want to move from this energy of always being in a fight, right? Always juggling all these balls, always doing everything, into this space where, okay, I'm transitioning out of this. Because one thing about death is that it is a transition, right? There's like things don't die. They just go into the next phase of life or the phase of whatever. Like it's just you're moving to this next phase, and it may be scary because you don't know what's on the other end of that, but I do get that you guys are moving out of your south node energy, which is kind of like your fate, into your north node energy, which more represents your destiny. I do encourage you guys to take a look at your life path, your head reading, um, just to see what's going on there, just to get some advice there. But one thing that I do see that is really obvious to me is that you guys may be struggling with either leaving some family behind, disappointing some kind of family, turning your back on family, right? But the truth is that you have been too focused on your masculine energy, which has caused you to fear being misjudged, and you need to move more into your feminine energy, right? We got a 28 coming to 10, that's one. And we even have the Ace of Cups here, which also represents the number one. So you do have to learn how to put yourself first, okay? And when I mean put yourself first, I mean put the feminine side of yourself first. Vulnerability is key. Vulnerability is key. All right, so we have sad embrace, and then we have wide open being in reverse. So I'm definitely right now, and it's the second time we got the number 42. 42 is a number that's all about making your dreams come true, making your wishes come true. Um, it's like a new foundation supported by your spirit guides. And you see, we have a butterfly here, which represents transition. Let me just get to it because I could do symbolism all day. But I do feel like you guys right now, um, there's a part of you that has been neglected. You guys have shut off. It's almost like you were supposed to go through some type of grief and you kind of shut it off so you didn't have to face that grief up front. So you didn't have to deal with it. But it's still in your subconscious. And so, one big reason why you guys do fear vulnerability is just because it hasn't been kind of like desirable, right? And you haven't learned how to actually deal with your vulnerability in a healthy way because you're too busy and too expected to be the leader, to be the one that people follow, to be the person that everybody wants to be. All right, so we're gonna start this one off with our chakra wisdom card. So this pile is about trusting this untrustworthy energy, right? So what do we got? Sacral chakra. Oops, sexuality, y'all. Come on now. Come now. Come now. One thing that I want you guys to realize before I read this card is that sex can clearly we've all heard of sex addictions. People all the time can use sex to fill a void. Don't do that. There's no such thing as filling a void. You have to address the void in and of itself and figure out how it affects you in a way. It'll fill itself. Going into this, and is I'm getting this energy of being like addiction, right? Using things to fill a void. In this case, it looks like sex. Trusting sex. Like what? Second chakra, sacral chakra, sexuality. I honor and respect my sexuality and I allow the natural flow of my feelings. I acknowledge that my sexual thoughts and feelings will arise and I release unnecessary guilt regarding sex. I'm open to the positive, sensual feelings coming to me from others at the same time. I keep my sexual activities well directed and balanced. There's nothing wrong with sex, right? Ain't not, If you are like we're not gonna kink shame, right? Like whatever you like, you like. What you do behind closed doors, like honey, keep it there. We don't care, right? I think that's the mature me, because young people always like to share what they like, and when older people do it, I'm just like, you should know better. It ain't none of nobody's business. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. That is not what this is about. This is about you using your sexuality or consuming sex in some type of way that it is causing a barrier. It is, and you definitely, one, should not be feeling shame about it. All right, so we have Sowilo, we have Pertho, and then we have Wunjo. All right, so Sowilo is the sun, Pertho is destiny, and then Wunjo is joy. So that's what they literally mean. Pertho is in reverse though. So in reverse, it is a loss of faith, okay? And then on this side, Sowilo is success. You guys know what the sun, success, revelation. It's kind of like shining a light on the path. And then we have Wunjo, joy. So what I'm getting is that you guys are, I want to say woke, and that means something different for us all. But I do think that you have identified the things in life that are important to you. You guys have identified the things in life that are bullshit, right? But your lack of faith in your own abilities, in your own kind of push, has you kind of like not believing, or I should say, believing that your joy will come from this. Like you will find happiness in your sexuality. You will not. You will not. Now, let's be real. You do have to be open to your sexuality, right? Whatever you like, whoever you like, you have to be open in your mind to like that. You absolutely do. But, or I should say, you have to be open to be happy, but it's not gonna make you happy. You know what I'm saying? So I know this isn't coming out on the first, but this month I am doing like questions on my Instagram and my Twitter page. If you guys want to check that out, I think my Instagram is your local numerologist and Twitter is numerology 1126. Y'all, they wouldn't let me make it long enough. But anyway, questions that you should be asking yourself, right? So definitely take a look at those questions this month and make sure that things are in the right place and they're bringing you to the place where you want to be. All right. So let's talk about it. Ooh, that flipped. That flipped. So I'm just going to leave it flipped. So the Two of Swords in reverse is a little bit better than the Two of Swords upright. And it also gives the vibe of the sun. Something that was hidden, now you see. Taking your blindfold off. Opening your eyes. Being honest. The Queen of Swords is honest. The Queen of Swords cuts bullshit out of her life. She is no nonsense. A feminine sitting in masculine energy. And this is what I see here. And so I'm going to go back again and say, you guys need to make sure you're balancing out your feminine energy. The sacral chakra is feminine energy, right? But participating in sex is kind of like a masculine energy, right? Even, yeah, we looked up what is it, being turned on, and it is testosterone, right? Which we would identify as masculine, right? So it's kind of asserting your feminine energy in a very masculine way, right? That's what sex is. So you can't always trust using your feminine energy this way. So what I'm getting is when you guys feel emotion or when you feel anything, that your main goal is to do, like do something about it. And so, see, going back to sad embrace, it really gives this energy that you don't just sit with your thoughts. You don't just sit with your emotions and like really deep dive into what they mean. God, this reading is so long. I'm so sorry, y'all. I just knew it was gonna be long when I pulled all these cards. I'm just like, what? And I'm hungry again. Um, anyway, I'm just gonna apologize for this being so long. I hope y'all watch it, but all right. So you guys are finally starting to see the burdens, or spirit saying you need to see the burdens that you have picked up yourself. Back to that Two of Pentacles energy, juggling all these things, feeling like, hey, the more you pick up, the more you do, the more successful you are, right? The bigger your house is, the more successful you are. The nicer your car is, the more successful you are. The more people you know, the more successful you are. You need to define success for yourself. What does it mean to you? And stop giving kind of this energy to all of these kind of like outside forces, I should say. All right, so let's pull these cards here. So we have Knight of Wands, Four of Cups, Two of Wands. Man. Yeah. You guys need to what I'm seeing right here is that you guys are kind of walking into some kind of trap. I don't know if you're picking up a new sexual partner or something to do with sexuality and something that you do not need to be doing. That is what I'm getting right now. I don't really know specifics, but I am getting that you need to pull back. You need to pull back. I'm also getting that you need to use this energy to actually make plans to go forward. Guys, what are you doing? Like, I literally don't know what this is or what's coming up, but be careful. Be careful, okay? Because for some reason, asserting your sexual energy in a very masculine way right now is going to backfire. So I would take a little break because this no, no, it's not gonna work out. It is not gonna work out. Yeah, it's a snake in the grass. Guys, when I tell y'all, everything is so fucking conflicting, right? We have burdens and we have success, right? Along with this snake and the four-leaf clover. So it's like, all right. Sorry about that. So anyway, even with the Two of Swords coming out, it was upright at first, and the Queen of Swords being so kind of like transparent. I do get that there is a lot of like conflicting energy, which you know is not the greatest. So you guys really do need to be careful because what I'm getting is that this energy is constantly conflicting. Like I don't know what this is, but you're like, oh yeah, you know, it's gonna be great. And then on the opposite side of that, somebody is going to betray you. And this is something that is like constantly happening. So I do want you guys to just be more aware of what you're doing, of the energy that you are allowing into your life, right? I'm all for feminine energy. I love it. I love it. It is absolutely my favorite energy. I have a lot of masculine energies, so I kind of am someone that kind of gravitates toward my opposite. So I get it. You know what I'm saying? I know. I get it. However, you guys have to be more selective because you are walking into a trap. Like I cannot say anything more besides something looks good, but it's not good. It's the opposite. It's the baby. You see that? Forge, don't follow. Y'all not followers anyway, right? But what I'm saying, what this looks like, it says pave a new path, be the leader you wish you had. What I'm saying is that, hey, those old rules that you have in place that allowed you to do all of these things that are actually working against you, you need to change those rules. The rules, I saw this meme some years ago on Tumblr, like when I was going through my divorce, and it said, "You are a slave to the rules that you live by," and you will see, right? Like, for instance, you'll I've ran into multiple women who had a kid by this guy. Dude was super shitty, worst person on the planet. Was not a good man. Was not a good father. But they're like, you know what? I don't want to have kids by more than one guy, so they'll have another kid by him just because of what? Can you explain again why? Can you explain again why you would do that? Why you would? It doesn't make sense. And so, in the back of your mind, you may, like, in the back of their mind, they're like, okay, well, I don't want to be judged, and I don't want people to look at me like I'm a hoe, and all of this other shit that is so insignificant and does not matter, because what actually matters is how those kids are going to grow up, how those kids are going to feel. And regardless of whether you think you're going to be seen in a certain way, having a shitty father is not cool. You know what I'm saying? It is not. And intentionally doing that is even more uncool. Like with the first one, you didn't know. But with the second one, you knew. And you just kept going. And so that's the energy that I get. Like, you guys are putting, I mean, the inner, whatever you're putting this energy into, it is smacking you in the face over and over and over again. You're like, oh yeah, it's gonna be good this time. It's not. It is not gonna be good. It is not gonna be fantastic. You guys have to find a way to move the hell along from this energy. You guys, like, out of everything that I've seen, this is what I'm gonna say, because even in the energy that I got, it is conflicting, right? Because it's like there's a need to be more vulnerable, right? And then over here, what do you need to change to protect your energy? So that's the energy of being less vulnerable. And then we have this whole pile of conflicting energy, because you guys are wielding your masculine energy in the wrong way. Because instead of expressing your feminine energy in a masculine way, you are protecting your feminine energy with masculinity. So you are building up this wall to kind of like harbor and hold your feminine energy close, and then wielding masculine energy in a way that's only hurting you. Because at the end of the day, even if you feel like, hey, I'm protecting myself by doing this instead of that, you're not. You're not. You're still working in such a way where you are like working off of your emotions. Okay? Whether you are trying to block those emotions or whether you are trying to express them so people understand, you're still working off of emotion. Okay, so our last pile, because man, this reading long as hell, y'all. I'm so sorry. Our last pile, benefits of change. Major benefits of keeping your energy close, right? So, what I'm getting from that is, even though you believe that you're protecting yourself, you really are allowing your energy to kind of like free flow. So, what we have, Ansus in reverse. And then we have Issa. So Issa is about stillness. It's ice. It's about stillness. Ansus is it means message, right? It is in reverse. Um so what I'm hold on now. That is not Ansus. That's Rido. Y'all see that? I was having a whole dyslexic moment. In my defense, these could be painted. I might paint those. So let's rewind that. Let's rewind that, because Rido in reverse is about loss and alienation. We're back to embrace the sadness. We're back to embrace the sadness. What I'm getting is this kind of freeze type of energy. Like, you guys need to like literally remove yourself from some of these situations and kind of take a look at what is really been doing, how it's really been feeling, not how everybody else is looking out like, oh yeah, look at you getting all these hoes, you a pimp, but really you are sleeping with people, catching feelings, and then they're just leaving you the hell alone, and you don't like that. You know what I'm saying? So really take a look at and see what is actually going on with this energy. Okay, so anyway, the benefits, right? I do get again what I get mostly with these is recognizing your loss, recognizing your sadness, and kind of coming to terms with it. With the Six of Swords and the Chariot, them both going over troubled water, traveling past emotion. The Chariot is a card to me that is about balance. Okay, so the Chariot does represent Cancer, which does give me like family, home, love, right? So you guys are moving over this kind of emotional turmoil toward love. Um, you may believe that you are kind of like protecting your energy or projecting your energy in a way that benefits you, but you're not. You are not. What you are doing is keeping yourself from actually acknowledging your own feelings, right? And that's why it needs to be a stillness. That's why it needs to be kind of like a stop put on things. What number we got here? Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles. What I'm getting with this Eight of Pentacles is really just finding something that you enjoy doing. That taking yourself away from this energy, although you may feel like you have worked for it and all of that, it is going to put you on a path that you can actually enjoy. Life can go either way all the time. Everything in life is a double-edged sword. There's nothing in life that's all good or all bad. And the sooner you come to recognize that, the sooner you come to recognize that, hey, you can have a healthy relationship with somebody and they'll hurt your feelings sometimes. We are human beings. Nobody is going to be perfect. That don't mean that, hey, you express your emotions in an unhealthy way. I can't tell you how I feel, but I can have sex with you when I'm mad or when I'm sad or when I'm happy. That's not healthy. That's what I'm talking about. Life can go either way. Right? So we have a... Man, I'm glad we're on this last pile because I'm tired. I don't know why this reads so long, but my goodness. So we have the 12, which does mean message. And it also, like, I like to read it as messages from our ancestors. Seven of Pentacles is the trial and error. It's right here. Then we have 35 coming to an 8. We got another 8. This is like karma, but we have the anchor here, right? So this is like a full stop on things that actually make you happy. And when I feel that make you happy, I'm just getting a vibe of really getting in touch with your emotions, period. Acknowledging them, not trying to like beat them down under the surface and pretend like they're irrelevant, because they're not. They're not. And it's not fair for you to treat yourself this way. As long as you are unable to kind of really recognize who you are and where you're going, you are going to struggle with anxiety. And that is not me saying, hey, you need to do this instead of getting professional help. Get professional help. Okay? That's all I can say to that. Get professional help. I'm not telling you one way or the other. I'm just telling you that your spiritual side, your mental is all fucked up and jammed up because there's been a refusal to work with yourself. And sometimes we can take a step back and we can do that on our own. And sometimes we can't. Sometimes we need outside help. And that just is what it is, honey. That just is what it is. So, last couple cards, we have doors are opening, you decide, rewards, wild card. This is what I'm shit can go either way. I don't know why that is just so important. Like, why is it saying that so many times? But Spirit is saying things can go either way. You can continue down this path for as long as you want to, right? You can. You can continue down this path until you die. You know, there are people that are narcissists until the day they die. They don't ever get help and they end up dying alone, or everybody around them hates them. And that's great that you live to 90 with people turning their nose up at you every time. You could do it. But will it make you happy though? Is that the legacy that you want to leave? That you were connecting with people on a very surface level, but you never really got to know people. Nobody ever really knew who you were. And so you guys have been literally expressing yourself in the wrong way. And Spirit wants you to really express yourself instead of kind of trying to hide it. I mean, I gave the example earlier. That's all I got for you. So I have the Seven Star Sisters, Birth and Creations, Tapestry of Life, Expression. And I'm just going to go back to I need you guys to believe in yourself. I need you to remove, I'm seeing the number 7 a lot. And I do get that that's the number between your soul urge 1 and then the number 8, which we also have one here a couple times. We have 7, 7, 7. That's just right here. So you can do whatever you want to do, right? It can go either way. You decide. You decide. But if you do want to like put happiness back in your pocket, back in your life, or introduce it to your life, you have to be honest with what's not working. And if it's not working, you guys literally have to stop. Like, you have to cut it off. All right. So anyway, that's all I got for this reading. I ain't gonna hold y'all no more. It's been long enough. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, leave your comments below. Thank you so much if you made it this far. Happiness is always the goal, guys. And I will see you next time.